2025 was a massive year for construction. Billions invested, ambitious projects launched, engineering pushed to its limits. But not everything went according to plan. Some of the world's most ambitious projects faced setbacks that cost billions, halted progress, and forced engineers to completely rethink their approaches. These aren't just failures, they're lessons. Because understanding what goes wrong is just as important as celebrating what goes right. Here are 9 of the biggest construction challenges of 2025, what happened, and what we can learn from them. We started in September, when a Bangkok street suddenly disappeared. Workers were 40 meters beneath the surface, connecting a tunnel to the new Vajira Hospital station at Bangkok's Purple Line extension. During the connection work, something ruptured in the tunnel ceiling. The tunnel collapsed. Early in the morning, water started welling up on the road. Then, at 7:13 a.m., the street opened up. A significant sinkhole, estimated at 10 to 15 meters deep, opened in the roadway. Here's what made it worse. Vajira Hospital sits right there, a facility serving hundreds of thousands of patients annually. Areas near the sinkhole required evacuation. Fortunately, no casualties. Work on the tunnel stopped immediately. As of late 2025, it hasn't resumed. The lesson: urban tunnel construction near critical infrastructure requires constant monitoring. Ground conditions can change rapidly. When connecting tunnel segments to station structures, the transition zones are vulnerable points where soil stability can fail catastrophically. California's high-speed rail project has faced delays and cost overruns since groundbreaking in 2015. Building in one of America's most expensive regions meant land acquisition alone consumed billions. In 2025, federal funding uncertainty resurfaced, with renewed political threats to reclaim billions in previously allocated funds. The situation was challenged in court, and as of late 2025, resolution remains uncertain. But the funding freeze had immediate impacts. Construction slowed. Contractors faced uncertainty. Progress that took years to build risked stalling. The lesson: major infrastructure projects that span multiple administrations face political risk. Relying on federal funding without locked-in, multi-decade commitments creates vulnerability. When political winds shift, projects suffer, and so do the thousands of workers whose livelihoods depend on them. Germany's reputation for engineering excellence makes what happened in Stuttgart even more surprising. Stuttgart 21 is transforming the city's main rail terminus into a through station, a regional hub. Simple concept, except nothing about it has been simple. Major challenges emerged in 2025 around operational safety. Critics argue that certain tunnel gradients reduce safety margins, particularly in emergency scenarios. The steeper grades have raised concerns about train control during incidents. Add ongoing problems with the new ETCS signaling system designed to replace traditional infrastructure, and the entire upgrade has faced significant delays. The planned 2026 opening has been canceled. The lesson: major rail projects face complex operational challenges beyond pure engineering. When safety concerns emerge during construction, whether justified or not, they create delays and public scrutiny. Clear communication about design decisions from the outset can prevent controversies that stall projects for years. Britain's newest nuclear power station, Hinkley Point C, is designed to generate 7% of the UK's electricity. The country hasn't built anything like it in 30 years. Labor shortages, material delays, COVID disruptions, and Brexit complications have pushed the cost to £48 billion, potentially making it the most expensive nuclear power plant in history. But 2025 brought a different kind of problem: environmental mitigation costs. A government report revealed the project includes a £700 million acoustic deterrent system designed to protect local marine life. Critics and press coverage highlighted analysis suggesting the system's effectiveness, particularly for salmon populations, appeared disproportionate to its cost. The resulting headlines put environmental regulations under scrutiny. The lesson: environmental protection is essential, but cost effectiveness matters. When mitigation systems cost hundreds of millions with disputed effectiveness, it signals the need for better regulatory frameworks that balance environmental goals with project feasibility. The challenge is finding that balance before construction begins. This isn't about construction failure, it's about political dysfunction preventing construction entirely. Since 2021, China has wanted to build a new embassy in London. The problem? Security concerns raised by British officials about the facility's design led to planning permission being denied. Then Britain held elections. The new government was friendlier to China. China resubmitted plans. The responsible minister promised personal oversight, then resigned over a scandal before making a decision. Then British intelligence warned about Chinese spies recruiting MPs via LinkedIn. The embassy looked doomed again until November 2025, when leaks suggested the Prime Minister would approve it. As of late 2025, no official announcement has been made. The lesson: when major construction projects become entangled in international relations, technical excellence doesn't matter. Politics can halt a project more effectively than any engineering challenge. Sometimes the hardest obstacle isn't bedrock, it's bureaucracy. Snowy Hydro is Australia's biggest engineering achievement, a vast network of hydroelectric plants. Snowy 2.0 was designed to connect two original reservoirs and create new power generation. Enter Florence, the tunnel boring machine that got stuck just weeks after starting. The problem was unexpectedly soft ground. As the chief executive put it, "We just didn't know it was that soft." Clearly, that contributed to progressive cost overruns that pushed the budget toward $8 billion USD. After enormous effort, Florence got unstuck. Work continued. Then, in January, it stopped again. Concerns that refuge chambers, where workers shelter if tunnels collapse, hadn't been properly maintained. In October, a line-by-line audit of the entire project was ordered. It's expected to take 9 months and cost tens of millions more. The lesson: ground conditions are always uncertain until you're actually digging. But when a tunnel boring machine encounters problems early, it's a warning sign. Continuing without thoroughly investigating why invites compounding problems. And when safety systems like refuge chambers aren't maintained, it's not just expensive, it's unacceptable. Manchester United, one of football's greatest clubs, decided to explore building a new stadium. They consulted with Norman Foster, Britain's most famous architect. Concept designs emerged: a vast 100,000-seat stadium under a distinctive umbrella structure, bold, iconic, and immediately compared to a circus tent by critics. The British press, combined with the team's recent performance, delivered harsh commentary. Reports in late 2025 suggested design revisions were being considered, with the signature canopy element potentially simplified or removed entirely. The lesson: iconic architecture faces public scrutiny, especially when attached to a beloved institution. What looks visionary on paper can look ridiculous to the people who will use it. Community input matters, and when a signature design element gets scrapped before construction even begins, it suggests the consultation process failed. Britain invented railways 200 years ago. High-Speed 2 was meant to prove they still knew how to build them. The high-speed rail line was designed to link London with destinations in northern England. Construction began in 2020. Since then, HS2 has been reduced by hundreds of kilometers through successive revisions. Costs have increased by tens of billions of pounds, and completion dates remain unclear. In October 2025, reports indicated a section linking HS2 to the rest of the mainline network faced further delays, potentially extending completion timelines by years. This creates a complex situation where sections of high-speed rail may open before full network integration is achieved. The lesson: when projects are politically unpopular from the start, they're vulnerable to death by 1,000 cuts. Each cut seems reasonable in isolation. Together, they destroy the project's fundamental purpose. HS2 has become a case study in how not to build infrastructure. Death, not by engineering failure, but by political cowardice. In 2022, Saudi Arabia announced The Line, a 170-kilometer linear city in the desert. Then came a flood of other gigaprojects in the Neom region. Massive, ambitious, and many said impossible. Saudi Arabia started building trenches in the desert, piling rigs, concrete pours. Then 2025 arrived. According to multiple reports, significant scope reductions and delays have emerged across Neom projects. The line's scale has been dramatically reduced from initial announcements. Budget pressures have become evident. One project retains strong backing: Trojena, a mountain resort set to host the 2029 Asian Winter Games. But with less than 4 years until the opening ceremony, contractor selection and construction timelines remain challenging. The lesson: ambition must be grounded in feasibility. Neom represents an extreme example of vision exceeding practical reality. When projects prioritize spectacle over function, when timelines ignore construction logistics, when budgets assume unlimited resources, Course corrections become inevitable. The lesson isn't to avoid ambitious projects. It's that ambition needs realistic planning, phased execution, and flexibility to adapt when reality asserts itself. From Bangkok's sinkhole to NEOM's scaled back ambitions, from environmental mitigation costs to tunnel boring machines in soft ground, from political dysfunction to design revisions. These 9 challenges of 2025 remind us that construction is hard, it's expensive, it's vulnerable to forces beyond engineering, politics, public opinion, and sometimes just unexpected ground conditions. But here's what matters. Every single one of these setbacks teaches something: better ground investigation, more resilient political frameworks, realistic timelines, community engagement, safety system maintenance. The projects that succeed in 2026 and beyond will be the ones that learned from what went wrong in 2025. So here's my question. Which of these challenges do you think was the most avoidable? Which one frustrates you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the world's most ambitious construction projects, the triumphs and the setbacks, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.